In Privacy Watch, just ahead of Valentine's Day, the Federal Trade Commission is warning that romance scams on dating apps and social media are on the rise. Surprise, surprise. A new report says that more than 21,000 Americans fell for one of these scams last year, resulting in a loss of around $143 million. That is an increase from the 8,500 reports and $33 million lost in 2015. So, for more on this, I am joined by Cupid himself, CBS News contributor and editor-in-chief of Wired Magazine, Nick Thompson. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Vlad. How are you? Thanks for that intro.
So, you know, I get that there are people who have found romance and love through social media dating apps. I am not one of those individuals. I have found love through traditional means. But I'm struck by this report because what is, to me, striking is something, it's an old adage, which is the con artists will look for that hole in your heart and they'll seek to exploit it. And now they're using technology. How are they using it?
Right. So you are particularly vulnerable when you're looking for love online because A, your data is out there, and B, you're in an emotionally vulnerable state. Right? So you put those two things together, an app where there's lots of information about you, which allows people to manipulate you, and when you're sort of riled up and looking for somebody, then you're a very easy mark. So that's the problem that's going on. So how does it actually work? There are two kinds of scams that I think we're seeing the most. One is where somebody gets to know you through an app or through a site, through whatever it is, and you develop a relationship, and then they say, I need money to come and visit you. I have to get the train ticket. And then, oh, I broke my leg on the way to the train. I need a little more money. And you just get pulled down in the vortex. Another that people are starting to see is a sextortion scam. And that is where, say, an older man will start talking with what he thinks is a younger woman. And then the younger woman's dad will show up online and say, she's under 18, I'm going to expose you if you don't pay me. Of course, the whole thing has been a con from the beginning. Nobody you're talking to is real, but there's been a real rise in that sort of scam as well.
So users are entering their personal data voluntarily into these dating apps. How much data are the apps collecting, and how is it used?
Well, there's so much data, right? Because you have to enter your pictures, and the more you enter, the better the match they'll find for you, right? So you often take these quizzes, you say what you're interested in. You're, of course, revealing your sexual preferences. There's a lot of very intimate information that you are entering. And the reason you enter it is so they can help you find people. And as you said at the beginning, there are lots of people who find love on the internet and have marriages that last for a long time and have children, and God bless them. So there is lots of good stuff that comes out of this. I don't want to scare off our viewers, of course. But you do enter a lot of very personal information. It is stored, and then a lot of them also track your location, so you can find people in your area. So then you're giving up all of your sensitive data and your location, and that's worrisome.
I would guess that probably is the one that is most worrisome to me, I guess, if I had somebody in my life who was using these apps, because it strikes me that the technology, the platform for these scams has changed, but they've existed since the very beginning. You could have put out an ad in the the love section of the newspaper 30 years ago and scam somebody that way, right? You meet them at a bar and they tell you that they're a prince from Wakanda and that you're going to come back with them to Wakanda and live happily ever after, or Zamunda, or any one of the fictional countries that you want to imagine, and you could do it that way by first reaching out to them through a newspaper, through anything, right? Even meeting somebody at a bar doesn't necessarily guarantee that they're not a con artist.
Right. And what the internet has done is it has made both finding real people much easier, because you don't have to go to the bar and go through the menu. There are 8 different people who are single at the bar. You're in a sort of environment where there are 50,000 people who are single and who are directly interested in you. So it has made part of it easier, and it has made the conning much easier, because you don't have to talk to your mark over the bar, and you can actually talk to 1,000 people at the same time, right? So if you were running a romance con, you can just go online and you can have thousands of conversations going, and you can ghost anybody you want. Whereas if you're a con artist at a bar pretending that you're a prince from Wakanda, there are a relatively small number of marks.
Right, that's a good point. So what should people look out for if they're using these social media apps to date?
So the most important thing is to be able to step back. When you see somebody asking for money, or you see something that seems not quite right, stop. And if you're not too embarrassed, show it to a trusted friend and say, is this real? If you're good at the internet, you can also try to piece together clues. You can take the image of the person you're talking to and reverse image search and see, wait, that's a stock photo. That's appeared on 1,000 web pages, which it almost certainly is if they're trying to con you. That's relatively highly sophisticated work on the internet. But look for other clues in what they're saying, right? they say they're from New York, but they're a Dodgers fan, right? Like you can just sort of piece things together.
That's funny,
right?
Yeah, I guess again, another adage: if it looks too good to be true, if he or she sounds too good to be true, if you are, let's say, a 75-year-old man and you're looking for love, and this person is in their 20s, you know, or if you're
probably not right. They probably have a game going on.
Yeah. Like I said, I met my fiance through a friend, and the old ways are sometimes still the best ways.
Yeah, I use the best dating app there is, which is called college, and we've been together for 22 years. And
Congratulations.
All is well.
That's such a great story. Nick Thompson, always good to have you, man. Thank you very much.
Happy
Valentine's Day.
You too.